that really does not seem to be what has happened. And the only explanation does appear to be that the trader concerned is an habitual rogue.
I suppose the alarm bell started ringing and it was just constantly, not just one excuse, but 2 or 3 or 4 just backing up.
It's been quite upsetting, quite traumatic.
Tanya Flint Clark and Steve Lindsay are just 2 of the 11 people we've spoken to who claim to have been ripped off by one man. Michael the Education from Spencer, the industry body that sets the standard for replacement window and door installers. So confident that she found the right man for the job, in November 2012, Tanya called John Houlihan to arrange for a surveyor to come and measure up the windows. But first, Tanya was asked for a deposit of £1,250, half the cost of the job.
I wasn't concerned about the factory of the 50% deposit. I know if I do a set of hair extensions, I do exactly the same to cover my costs.
Houlihan asked her to pay the money via the online payment system PayPal.
He said that he couldn't use a credit card, so that meant I couldn't just pay on a credit card, which offers me an exception again.
Once she paid the deposit, Tanya was told that the surveyor would call to arrange a date to measure the window. And eventually the appointment was scheduled for early December.
I came home, shut the shop.
Instead, if your home is suitable for any improvement, you'll pay the money back over time through your energy bills. But before any of that can happen, an assessor will need to see if you'll benefit from taking part. And that's what led quite a few of you to get in touch with us. Because there's a company that's been cold calling, offering to arrange the crucial assessment. They want an upfront fee, of course, but in return, once you've handed over your own green stuff, some of you have received absolutely nothing.
Jen Davis from Caerphilly in Wales wants to go green, become more eco-friendly, and definitely save money on her energy bills.
I'm very interested in green issues, and I like to make sure my home is as green and energy efficient as possible. Things like energy efficient light bulbs and that type of thing.
Jen heard about the government's Green Deal and was keen to find out if her house would be suitable to some of the energy.
And he explained that it was a kind of pre-assessment to see if I would be eligible for the government assessor to come around.
In fact, the man from Becoming Green was effectively just a middleman, and the service that the company was offering was simply to put Jen in touch with approved assessors for a fee.
He explained that I would have to pay a deposit of £299 to initiate this procedure whereby people would contact me to do the work that was necessary, and that I needed to pay £299 to start the process. I thought it was still a reasonable deal.
So Jen wrote out a cheque and was told that the approved Green Deal assessor would be in touch.
After waiting for nearly 3 weeks without hearing anything, I rang the company and I was told that because of the exceptional demand for this scheme, the assessors were very, very busy, and so there would be a bit of a delay.
Adding to Jen's frustration was the fact that her cheque had been cashed almost as soon as she'd handed it over. So far, she hasn't had anything for her money.
Citizens Advice advised me to send them a recorded delivery letter, and they helped me with the content of the letter. And I gave them 14 days to send me my money back, and told them that after that date I would be pursuing it to the court.
After that, Becoming Green did get back in touch, but not with the refund that Jen was expecting. She asked it back.
They actually rang me and said they couldn't give me my money back because they'd already paid their fee to the government assessor, and that they would be out of pocket.
Becoming Green insisted that they would organise an approved Green Deal assessor, but by this time Jen realised that she was paying for something she could have arranged for herself, for less, or even for free. And she isn't the only person in the area to be disappointed by their dealings with Becoming Green. Shirley and Graham Price have had a similar experience.
We just had a phone call out of the blue. This very charming chap speaking and explained all about this Becoming Green, and could he come out and give us advice on how we could have £10,000 worth of government money to upgrade our house to be energy efficient. I thought, well, this sounds all right. He's a very nice fellow when he came in, explained it all.
So when the representative from Becoming Green asked them for an upfront fee of £299, again paid it.
I really didn't see why he wanted £299.
So I got the checks in my bag and all these were put back and they wouldn't be cut for a fortnight.
But after the rep had left, Graham and Shirley began to have second thoughts.
After 2 days, I changed my mind. After I read the contract, it's not what I thought. You're just sending out an assessor to assess the property. I didn't think that'd be what I was paying my for. Yeah.
Now there are others who paid money to Becoming Green who wanted the same thing. Cassini Trading Standards have heard of other cases where Becoming Green's promise of setting up an approved assessment seems to have come to nothing. And what most of those people would say is that they weren't made aware that Becoming Green was charging for a service that any one of us could do for free. The company does make that clear on their website, but the people that we've spoken to say this was not explained to them by the reps who came to see their homes. When we contacted Becoming Green UK Limited, they said Graham and Shirley's case was an oversight and that their refund has now been sent. They were quick to rubbish companies who offer free assessments, saying that could tie you into extortionate costs for installs and high interest rates from providers. Instead, they offer a 3-year managed service, during which they'll provide free quotes much cheaper than you get by sourcing a supplier on your own. They also claim to be unique in offering a 100% money-back guarantee. A different assessor to her home, and after his report, she decided that the green deal may not be suitable for her after all. It makes the money that she's handed over to Becoming Green even more frustrating.
I should have had a lot more information before I gave my cheque for £299 so that I could make a much better informed decision. I'm beginning to feel really duped here.
Here at Rip Off Britain, we're always keen to hear more of your stories. And we're particularly interested in ones to do with food for a new series next year. Are you confused by all those different labels on the supermarket shelves? Worried that products described as healthy may be nothing but slime? Well, whatever's worrying you about the things we put on our plate, you can write to us at Rip Off Britain, BBC Key House, Media City UK, Salford, M52QH. Or you can send us an email to ripoffbritain@bbc.co.uk.
An internet search will probably show up whether they've got all the credentials they say they have or where they're based, but that's not clear.
And while you can never guarantee that the job is going to go totally smoothly, those sort of checks up front really can save you an awful lot of hassle and heartache later on. But if things do go wrong, then get straight on to trading standards. Then get in touch with us, because that way a bad experience for you could perhaps help prevent someone else ending up in the same boat. Well, that's it for today, but until we meet the next time, from all of the team, bye-bye. Bye.
61 buying homes over the Hamlet, and a property that dates back to 1872 has since been cited. Those kept on tackling the cross lines of communication between a major phone operator and its customers at known and modern extensions on older properties. What will the planners and the neighbours have to say?
UK/weekly.
Cricket Watson ran down this street here into this pub and said, "We have discovered the secret of life." And then he had a fight.
Professor Brian Cross explores the brilliance of British science. Science Britannica, starts Wednesday the 18th of September on
Formula One this weekend, by the coverage of the Italian Grand Prix qualifying and racing fall, Saturday and Sunday afternoon from 10 past 12 on BBC1. Practice laps live on BBC2 at the moment. I'm Richard Warren.
The BBC Sport app has the very latest F1 news, results and analysis.
video clips from your phone. The BBC. Hey, nice. That is lovely.
Celebrity Masterchef, the final, featuring tonight at 8:30 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
So, making sure you don't get done, Dom makes some calls to the phone operator, getting its customers' problems on BBC One. I know he's over there.
Hello. Now, people buy property for all sorts of different reasons. Maybe it's to live in or just to do up and sell off.
Now, whatever the reason, the main concern is value for money. So how do you do that?
One way, buy your next house with a hammer.
You need to do your homework if you buy at auction.
But once that's done, you can get yourself a real bargain.
So here's a look at today's potential money spinners just sold under the hammer. This London property dates back to 1872 and is full of original features. With some money and with some imagination, it could look fantastic.
There are some rather odd surprises when I visit this semi in Derby. Very standard layout so far. There's a compressors there, and down the corridor, what is that?
And in Gillingham, Kent, we have problems moving large furniture about in this frustrating property. Look how narrow this place is. It's just not wide enough.
All of these properties went to auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
The first property that went to auction has come to Forest Gate in East London, a vibrant and bustling part of the city, with the 2012 Olympic Stadium only minutes away. This part of the capital is tipped for big things. Well, I'm here to see a substantial house with a modest guide price. Now, the average property price on this one is £360,000, and the guide was set at just £235,000. Now, the house has been in the same ownership since 1872, so I'm hoping it's been refurbished since then. Now, this is going to get quite exciting. You look at both of these rooms as one large room. It's fantastic. It's got so much light. You've got windows at both ends, and look, another beautiful fireplace. Okay, this house needs a lot of love, a lot of tender loving care, but with some money and with some imagination, it could look fantastic. It's got great bones. Quite excited about this one. Down the colourful hallway, there's a second reception room and a disappointing kitchen, I'm afraid. Imagine this as one large window. It could be a really great family kitchen. Upstairs in this house that went to auction, guided at £235,000, there are two good-sized bedrooms. The master bedroom at the front has this wonderful window. There's so much light here, and the floorboards look as though they've sand down beautifully. The second bedroom has another brilliant fireplace, plus all the original carpentry that a house this old often has. There's also a loo up here. And two more rooms in the back. One is obviously bedroom 3, and off that is the fourth room, which might have been a bathroom at some time. It has a door leading out onto a most curious wooden terrace. Let's get that checked out. A word of caution now, there's no bathroom up here and no working kitchen downstairs. This house looks to be uninhabitable, and there's little chance of getting a mortgage on it in this state. And remember the loo upstairs? Well, I found another
anyway. 205, 210, 210, 215, 220, 220 with you, 225, elsewhere, 225, 230, 230, 235, 240, 240, 245, 250, 246, 245 with you, 246 elsewhere. If not, 245, first time, second time, third and last time, you're done, 245.
That final successful bid of $245,000 came from Wayne. Originally from New Zealand, Wayne's a lecturer in law who lives in the East End of London. I met up with him back at the house to find out why this property fitted in so well to Wayne's world.
Wayne, congratulations. You spent £10,000 over the guide price. I mean, you must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, that was within what I was expecting to.
What was it you liked so much about this house enough to want to bid for it?
Well, the character, as you can see, the original features, but also the potential for a really large loft conversion. It's nearly 3 meters of head height up there, and by the time we add 40 cubic meters of allowable unit extension, we'll be able to have one large room at the front, and then a shower room, and then another bedroom at the back and the dormer. The thing that actually got me going about picking up my interest in doing a rundown house was actually the team of builders that was associated with that job. So I thought, okay, we've got a good group of guys here. We can use them for another project, and they're all on for it.
I tell you what, you find a good team of builders, hold on
Yeah,
to them.
yeah.
So Wayne's going to project manage the team of builders who successfully renovated his current house. He intends to convert the loft and also extend into the area within committed development rights. He'll need to obtain building regulation, but not full planning permission. He paid £245,000 for the property, but that's only the beginning, because there's lots of work needed here, and a hefty budget, I suspect.
Wayne, how much money do you think you'll need to spend to take it to the next level?
Well, my working budget at the present time is 70,000. I could go a little bit more than that, but then I'd have to probably sell a couple of valuables.
Which, of course, you don't want to have to do.
Not really, no.
Now, let's talk about your garden. You've got a really pretty garden out there. If you could see it, because you've got this whacking great fern tree, which is beautiful. Come on, what are you going to do with that tree?
No, I really like it. I'll trim it back a little bit, but I'm certainly not going to try to get rid of it. I was told by a person
conservatory leases on the back there, so it needs to play around with, definitely improve the lighting, change the unit, and already I'm thinking, quite a lot of work to do on this one. Looks like a lot of work downstairs. Let's take a look. Well, upstairs, pretty simple really, just 3 bedrooms. So the obvious question is, would you bother bringing the bathroom downstairs up here? Well, there's plenty of space for it. You could possibly put it in this room, but then you would lose a bedroom, which, if you think about renting this place out, is going to have a significant impact. So, thinking it through, the toilet and the bathroom are probably going to stay where they are. At the back, there's a large garden. With a lot of work, but only a little spent on it, that could be a real selling feature here. Well, forged onto the rear of the property is this extension. You know, I actually think this detracts from the property quite a lot, so either take it down and put something slightly more substantial in its place. But before you do that, you've got to look at the value. The ceiling price of properties like this in this area is around £85,000. So here's one that you've got to be very careful with your budget. An extension like that,